All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into it so we don't do another 3 hour show because I really want everybody to be on here tomorrow to, you know, end the year all fresh. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The winner of the Worst Father of the Year award.
Hey, to start off, I'm 27 and my husband is 28. We've been married for 4 years. His parents and I have never had any problems, but we've never quite meshed or seen eye to eye. We've always gotten along and been civil. Recently, we've been talking a lot about our future family. My husband will be the last of his siblings to have kids. All of his siblings have at least one kid. It's been a running joke in the family that if our firstborn happens to be a girl, she won't be accepted because everyone else has a boy for a firstborn. That joke has never sat quite right with me, but I've laughed it off because I don't want to start anything, and maybe I'm just being sensitive. Fast forward to a few months ago when we started trying. It took about 3 months for me to get pregnant. Infertility runs in my family, and my husband and I agreed on a big family, so I've been worried about starting a family so late in the game. When I did get pregnant, we were overjoyed. We had all the typical couple conversations that came from having a baby. The excitement, names, nursery themes, gender predictions, etc. He talked about wanting a son first so that he could be the big strong leader for all of his younger siblings and carry on the family name. This is a very big deal to him instilled by his parents. I expressed my desire to have a little girl that I could dress up and match with. It became this playful banter between us. He'd refer to the baby as son, and I'd call the baby daughter. About a week before our gender scan, I searched up all the old wives' tales and made us a chart that we could fill out together to see who would hypothetically win our little bet. It included the Rang test, Chinese horoscope, heartbeat, cravings, etc. The result ended up being about 50-50 in the end, which made us even more excited to find out for certain at our scan. The following week, we went to our appointment and discovered that our baby was a girl. We were both extremely excited. My husband was disappointed to lose, but he told me that he was overjoyed to be raising a daughter by my side. That night, we called our families to share the news. After calling his family, his mother asked to speak to him privately. I went to bed alone, as their conversation carried on for well over an hour. The following morning, I woke up alone. There was a note on my husband's nightstand explaining that someone would be by the house to pick up his belongings later in the evening. I immediately tried to call him, only to realize that he had blocked my number.
Oh,
I think this is the one I said I didn't believe was real.
yeah, this was, I think,
But either way, come on, bro.
isn't this the one where the mother in law said she used a spell?
Excuse me. If we were gonna do that, we might as well just say the story instead of listening to it.
Okay, I forgot. I'm just trying to rejuvenate my memory. Like, isn't this the one?
I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I mean,
And I did
I'll make
not
sure I
think
play
this one
all
would
of it.
win the worst father. I literally thought it was going to
Marlon
be.
put on a rerun and then admonishes us for
Trying
trying
to
to talk
remember.
through the rerun.
Remember what I said that there are people who are new here who has never heard the
Hey,
story
y'all,
before.
y'all should have been here sooner. Appreciate you being here. So, see what had happened, right?
That's a butthole move too. It's not my fault you didn't know that the killer was. Okay.
Javier.
Oh, thank you for reminding me about that, Thea. Thank you. So,
No,
LL,
don't get off track now. We talking about
I'm
the
not gonna get
husband
off
with the
track.
daughter.
I'm not gonna get off track. I just want to say this real quick. So LL now says you can stop calling me LL now. Really?
No, we're going to.
Do you remember last week? LL, when it was Javier for president, LL.
Cool J is hard as battle
And
anybody. I don't care who
been
you.
on and on about it, LL. When you
Oh
kept
my
giving
God.
Javier LL. You remember
Oh,
that last
God.
week, LL? Just want to make sure that you remember that,
Why you
LL.
fussing that LL? LL, you good.
I'm not fussing. I was just
You
explaining.
fuss at us. Don't fuss at the
I
members.
remember this
Fuss
one.
at
They said,
us.
okay. See, give
I
everybody.
thought the stepfather that used his stepsons spent the money on himself and a golf trip would be. I thought that guy deserved it, no doubt about it. This one, he's
No,
terrible.
no, that's the one I moved to tomorrow.
Oh,
because I didn't
And
have
this is
any.
worse husband, right?
Yeah,
Okay, because the one who left his daughter, that'd be worse father.
yeah.
Right.
Or the one who picked on his daughter, even who was going through cancer.
No, that was a stepbrother.
And that
Yeah,
was
but
just
the dad
Boom,
And
backed
the
up
boom,
that
man
boom.
and
brother.
the dad sit there
you
and
know what, and I
excused it.
would, but that was. I know these stories run together. That was last year, not this year.
Uh,
Oh,
Yeah, but believe me, if you haven't heard that story, yeah, it was that bad. But it
it
was
was bad.
2022, not 2023. But it was that bad. It wasn't the worst father. It wasn't the worst husband. It was the worst in-laws. Cause remember, the whole side of that family laughed.
Oh, they sure
yeah, but
did.
I still put it on the stepbrother and the dad though, because like none of this would have
Don't
happened if
why?
not for the stepbrother, and the stepbrother never would have done that if not for the dad's cover.
The stepbrother was raised by the father, who was raised by that awful family. Yeah. If I can literally see if the brother did it and the father demolished him, I can see if the stepbrother and the father did it and his whole side of the family demolished him.
They was in on it. They was
They
like,
all laughed. That means this is a generational trash.
yeah,
It was
they
like,
all was trash for that one. I'm like, nah, y'all all trash.
but let's go ahead and move on. You're right, Thiz. Let's go ahead and move on. But yeah, that was 2022, so I couldn't use that one. Let's move on to the second part.
I then tried his mom. His mother picked up on the first ring. Before I had a chance to get a word in, she started chewing me out, calling me a manipulative B word. I asked her what I did, and she told me that I'd ruined her son's reputation with my inexcusable behaviors and tendencies. What am I reading? I let her finish her rant before kindly asking her, what the F are you talking about? She told me the divorce papers were already written up and I wouldn't have the chance to tear apart the family like I'd been intending to do the whole time. What? Did I skip a paragraph? I'm confused. I, again, slightly less kindly this time, asked her, what the F are you talking about? To which she told me that my husband would be leaving me because our child is a girl. I was gobsmacked. I explained to her that it takes two to tango and there's no way to truly decide the gender of the baby. And if her or her son had a problem with the gender, it was his fault because it's his chromosome that determines the gender. Right? Yeah, she's right. OP's 100% correct. It's the sperm that determines the gender, not the egg. However, his mom said that she had proof that I had handpicked to have a girl. Like I said before, we used a calendar to determine which days would be best for intercourse. Well, my mother-in-law accused me of forcing him to do it with me on a specific day, which the Chinese horoscope would point to a girl. She also interrogated me on the position we used to conceive the baby. And to that, I gave her a piece of my mind and told her it was none of her business. But she smugly told me that my husband already told her, and the position we use makes it 60% more likely to have a girl that way. So if anyone's currently trying to have a girl, specifically doing cowgirl sometime in the middle of February should do the trick every time, apparently. She finished off by telling me that my clear preference for my family name was disgusting, and she was glad to finally be rid of me and my manipulative ways before hanging up. I've had no contact with my husband since, and it's been over a month. Yo, what am I reading? He's blocked me on everything. I can't help but feel that this hasn't all been his choice, but then again, he's a grown adult, so I can't imagine his mother controlling him like that. I've been staying with my sister since it all went down. She says that I can stay as long as I need, but I'm thinking that I want to get my own place, maybe even one a few states away. What do I do? Should I pack up and move on? Should I continue trying to contact my husband? Any advice would be appreciated.
Let me say this real quick.
They
I'm
always
sorry.
stay with
I
the
just gotta
family
get one.
member.
I gotta get this one part off my chest. You nasty little B word. Ain't no way in the world I'm discussing sexual positions with my mother.
Ugh.
Ever. ever. And my
That's
mom has
y'all's relationship.
one of my closest best friends and my mother. And we ain't never gonna get that into that deep of a discussion. It is never happening. The
You
question
just gotta have that level of closeness, Marlon.
I
Nah.
don't need that level of closeness. Did she ain't? We don't have that level of closeness for her to ask, and I will never have that level of closeness to her to answer. That ain't.
I mean, how else is he supposed to find out if his mom and his wife both like to be choked?
I don't give a damn. I really don't give a fuck.
Stop!
I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know this. Yuck, man. What is wrong with you?
What's not wrong with me? I'm just saying, I'm trying to speak to the story that you chose.
No, you not. You went somewhere else.
He's trying to make sure he can have a long, happy relationship like his mama and his daddy, who probably don't even talk anymore because all life has been beat out of him at this point. But, having a conversation. Is it slow, slow, quick, quick, or quick, quick, slow, slow? Mom, what's better for me and my wife?
Come on, man. Come on. God. This is trying to gross us out before the year is over.
I mean, if she's talking about cowgirl is how you end up with a girl, but I mean, is reverse cowgirl how you end up with a gay boy? I mean, like, how did the positions correlate? I'm just saying.
So, Thiz, next time your parents are around, why don't you discuss your positions with them and let's just see how this conversation works out.
We not that close.
We ain't never gonna be that close. I don't even want to know.
Talking about family unity. Oh, okay, let's just see how this conversation goes and tape it so I can see it.
Yeah, I want tapes. I don't want you saying I did it.
Yeah, I want to see a
wrong
video.
with you guys? There's something wrong with you two.
Nope, you the one said, "Oh well, I don't see nothing wrong with it. That's family unity."
I didn't say there was nothing wrong with it. I was trying to speak to these people in their world. It's wrong for me. Don't make it wrong for them.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong for them. It's wrong. It's wrong.
This is terribly wrong.
This is wrong. No, this ain't no your world, my world. No.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was
Let's just see him do this with his parents. That's all I'm asking. He gonna keep doing this. I say do this with your parents. And I want to see it on. I want to see the whole tape. Take your cell phone and just hit record and just same thing.
See, we talking about
the story
this
of why
particular
I'm a girl.
couple.
No, you said, "Oh, it's family unity. I'm gonna bring you together."
And I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
There's some things that I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know how.
To do with positions.
I don't want to know. I don't need.
We just know, you know what? The stork brings babies. That's what it is. The stork brings babies. That I'm just gonna believe.
All I know is listening to this story, I can guess how his family votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound Republican to me.
No, they sound.
I didn't say that.
I said it.
Yeah, they sound Republican to me.
No, they sound mega to me.
Oh yeah, they clearly MAGA. Clearly.
This chick went from you used a calendar to dictate
the gender of the baby.
When you can have sex is the best thing. Yeah, the doctor gives you that calendar. That's actually a scientific thing that they do. They can that literally helps with it.
They ain't get the calendar from the doctor. They got the calendar from Amazon, and it's got all the different things in it. It's like an advent calendar. On Tuesday, you open this door, and it says butt play. And then you open this calendar door, and it says role play. And
they got the calendar from the doctor. They got a Chinese calendar from somewhere else dictating. They combine the dates and won't go. Okay, this calendar says we should do it on this day. Let's see what the Chinese calendar.
Doctors don't just have ovulation calendars lying around. Everybody's different.
Exactly.
But
they
you
would have had to
can
go
use apps.
to it.
I mean, you can.
So
there are apps with ovulation calendars.
The doctor would have had to build a brand new Microsoft Excel sheet and input the different days and have it randomly correlate to the maximum of sexual position and lighting scheme.
They will go into whether you can have a boy or a girl, and that's a thing.
But the Y chromosome is the one that determines the gender of the baby. Like did they
la 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 la? You talking science? La 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 la. I'm telling you that if you do reverse cowgirl, you gonna end up with a gay boy that wishes that he was a vampire.
Because apparently you did that position on February 32nd.
You write that down.
If you have daytime sex, then you're gonna have a boy, and if you have nighttime sex after 11 p.m. after you eat in the shower, you're gonna have a gremlin.
What the hell are you eating in the shower?
What's up? You know, surprisingly, I've heard couples say they've done that, and I'm like, yo.
What, sex in the shower?
No, eating.
Eat in the shower.
I mean, I don't think you should have food in the bathroom. I come to find out that that's something that is somewhat cultural, because there are exceptions, and I've started to witness this lately at work. Like, hey, I know this ain't everybody. Full disclosure, this ain't everybody. But the only people who walk into the men's bathroom with a cup in their hand don't look like me. Stop it. I don't care what you was eating or drinking. It does not go in the bathroom with you. It goes in the trash can. That is disgusting.
Ew.
That is disgusting.
No, what's disgusting is people that don't wash their hands after a restroom visit. That's
disgusting too. Yeah. But I'm saying, whatever you had, no food items at all go into a bathroom.
Don't matter if you a baby.
Wash your hands.
Don't matter.
All right, everybody, let's move on so we can get on up.
And if you come out the stall, that's got a door on it, and I come up from the stall that I'm just standing in to pee, there is no reason why we both get to the sink and you're done washing your hands before me.
Stop it.
Nasty.
Just stop it.
Nasty.
Stop it.
Oh, courtesy washing.
I so want to move on so I can get out of here. We got it. It was nasty. We got it. Nasty. Ooh. Yucky. Let's move on, shall we? We're going to go to the next video, and this video is a little bit different, kind of, because this is a response from the husband.
What the F is wrong with you, OP? I loved you, and I loved our daughter. You paint me out to be such an effing villain, and none of these pea-brain people on the internet can see through these lies. Manipulation at its finest. You were such an effing B-word for our whole goddamn lie of a relationship. And when you were trying to get pregnant, everything was about you. I can't believe it took me so long to see all these signs. You were so effing obsessive over your stupid calendar, and we hardly ever used it. You always say that you're not in the mood, or we did it yesterday, and I'm too tired, can we skip a day? It was never about me or my feelings, and then when you actually got pregnant, it became even more about you. I'm not eating eggs anymore, they make me sick. I don't want to go to Sunday dinner, I'm not up to it tonight. Let's not get sushi for dinner because it's bad for the baby. I was so effing nice to you, OP. I literally doted on you like an effing Prince Charming, and you never even recognized me. I can't believe you strung me along all those years. F you and F your fetus. Oh my god, what am I reading? I'm sick of your games. I can't effing believe I find out about this post on a podcast that my girlfriend listens to. You betrayed me. 1 effing month until you lose everything like I did. See you in court, B-word.
So for the daughter he doesn't want, he's now suing for custody.
My favorite part of it is, it is so stupid that you would actually write this out, you glittering moron. I love my daughter. Several sentences later, F you and F your fetus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I am so confused about your love.
There's no greater love than that. Boy.
I really love my wife, but F you, female. Huh? So confused.
You're gonna sue for custody of a daughter you didn't want because she's a daughter.
But my main concern about you, dude, is there are hidden blessings. This is to OP. There are hidden blessings. This is terrible. I'm not even gonna say it isn't. This is absolutely terrible. This is disgusting and everything else. But man, are you not so glad that you learned this crap really early? Mm-hmm. Not saying early as in early in the marriage, early as in, did you really want this dude helping you raise this child? Because all his instructions right now is being done by his mom. Period. He was saying the words, but the instructions that he was saying, that's his mama.
She was back there spell checking. She was like, "Now make sure
that literally was like, because you was just coming up with stuff that didn't even make no fucking sense. Like, and it was still all about you. I don't want eggs tonight. What the fuck that got to do with you?
Yeah, she
didn't say you could eat eggs. She just said she didn't want it. What are you talking about? Oh, this is the part where we already realize people who they're so angry and frustrated and they know they're wrong, even though some people really do actually believe they're BS sometimes, that they know they're wrong. So they just throw out so much stuff. Don't have to make sense.
Yeah.
That people like us will read it and go, this doesn't make sense. But in their warped mind, as long as they get that one person that went, yeah, she didn't want to eat eggs. That's really selfish of her. He's good. He's good. He got that one person to go, that is fucking selfish. Why you didn't want to eat eggs? Why you didn't want to eat sushi? He wanted to eat sushi and you didn't want to eat sushi. That's real selfish of you. You don't need but one person to go, that's kind of fucked up. OP is a B word. But I digress. Isn't it nice to know that it's great. It's not great now. It's great to know this now because you really did not want this dude raising your child. Now, I'm going to go back to go a little forward. So remember the whole story I was telling you that my father was never in my life and never really wanted to be in my life. I went to my mom one day and asked her, why do my daddy do not want me in my life? She said something so profound that it stuck with me for the rest of my life. It just made me feel better. Period. For literally, even to this day. She said, baby, there's a reason why I'm raising you and he's not. Never use that question again. Never use that question again. OP, there's a reason why this happened. And there's a reason why you need to be raising this baby and he's not. There's a reason why you need to get away from this family. There's a reason why you need to get away from this grandmama. Because the traditional way is you are a family and the baby is being raised by you and your husband. In this situation, no. it would have been raised by you and the directions that his mother would have gave him. That's how that dynamic would have worked. So there you go. It's tough now, but in the long run, it's a blessing. Just run with it. And no, I'm not even going to say it's easy to be doing this on your own. I've done it on my own for a while. It ain't easy being a single father. It ain't easy being a single mother. But it's a whole lot damn easier when you're doing it on your own than having something toxic in your life that's just ew. It's a whole lot easier. I'm done.
This mother, I mean, lady, what? When not being a mother, I can't imagine raising a child that's so disrespectful to his wife. Like this piece of crap human being is. Part of the reason that she makes me mad, obviously, dude don't have no kind of backbone. When you marry somebody, you leave your parents, as the Bible says, and you cleave to your spouse, not your mama. Mama, he's your child, not your side piece, not your boyfriend, not your boo baby, not your little man, not your whatever. He's your son. Stay out of the marriage. Now, if somebody's being abusive, then yes, you intercede. But for you to sit here and brag that your son tells you the positions he's having intercourse with, yuck. I would never want my child to tell me something like, I don't want to know. I'm just going to assume that the stork brought the baby. I know how babies are made, but I'm just going to assume you tell me your wife's pregnant. Oh, stork brought the child. I don't need to know the positions. I don't need to know what time of the month. I don't need to know that she won't eat eggs. She's a controlling, wicked witch of the West. Terrible mommy dearest mother-in-law who is going to break up. She's going to break up this relationship, but she'll probably do it to the next one too, because nobody's perfect. Nobody's good enough for her little man. Nobody's perfect. Girl, sit down. Sit down and have several seats. And stop having your children describe sex position. That's disgusting. Disgusting. There's no way I would want to know that about my children. No way.
If you haven't already, please hit that like button. I got a lot of people watching this show right now. So if you haven't already, please hit that like button. And Tracy, you probably said the most profound thing you probably have ever said on this show, but I just couldn't get past the boo baby part. So my mind just went somewhere else, and I didn't hear any of what you said afterwards. I'm like, ooh, you about as gross as Thea's. Boo baby.
No, some people do call it.
Boo baby is not a gross term. It's just a goofy term.
To your child. That's no.
That's what she said.
That's what I'm saying. That's what she's treating him as. She's treating her son as her boo baby. Her little man. And it's disgusting. And a lot of single mothers, I'm gonna jump on single mothers. I don't want to, because this is not every single mother. But some of y'all be turning y'all sons into y'all spouses, and y'all need to stop that mess. He's a little man at the house. No, he's a little boy who needs a man in his life.
Yeah, y'all do need to stop doing
that. Stop that mess.
He's the man of the house. No, he's
not the man of the house. He's the little child.
Stop trying to raise your children to be the type of man or the type of woman that you would want, and try to teach them to be the type of man or woman the world needs. And then that way they can go into the world and find what works for them. I swear these people be blowing my mind where it's like, and I hate to say it, but it's usually single mothers just because dads are absent. So they don't get credit for shit because you ain't there. But when you were raising your son to be the type of man that you wish you had, I don't know how to put it. It's weird.
No,
It's just
that
weird.
was
That's
correct.
pretty
That was
much
correct.
what
Yeah,
it is, and
it's
it's
That's correct.
disgusting. Stop doing that mess.
like, no,
It's
you are raising someone else's future husband. That's what you, ideally, that's how you should be running this race, right? Like, teach your child how to be a good person and take on the attributes that will make them a good leader. And if you do so, you have now prepared them to be someone's husband, prepared them to be someone's wife, prepared them to be someone's boss. You know, give them the attributes. But y'all trying to play role play with these children, and it's just
and
screwing it
stop.
up.
And here's what I want. I want single mom. I want y'all to hear me. I don't care. Email me at tracymediallc.gmail.com because I don't care because I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. Stop letting your kids wish you happy Father's Day. You are not them children's father. You are your children's mother, not father. That no. Oh, I get like stop it. Stop wishing your single mother a happy Father's Day. She is not your father. She's
an
not.
amazing mother.
She's a great mother,
So
but she's not your father.
You need to go all out on Mother's Day for her.
But don't be wishing her happy Father's Day. She is not your
Yep.
father.
You need to
Period.
just go
Unless
ahead
she
and-
is.
Do not wish your father happy Mother's Day. He is not your mother.
Don't worry.
I don't think that happens. But,
Never happens.
I've
Don't
never
even
seen
worry
it
about
happen,
that.
but I don't want to be called sexist, so I'm hitting it both ways.
well, actually, it might happen because that's what I'm saying. Like, what if you got two moms? One of the moms might be playing the role of the traditional father, or you got two fathers. One of them may be playing the traditional role of the mother. Or you find where I don't know, man. There's so many variations out there. Do you out there, people? But yeah, if you come up here talking about happy Mother's Day on Father's Day, when I was younger, I used to say something to you. Now I don't even say nothing to y'all.
I'm just like, what? She ain't your father. Even if you had two mothers in the home raising a child, neither one of them are your father. If one of them takes on the role of the father, that's still not your father. Those are two women raising a child. That's what it is.
That is true.
So she
I
can,
just like this. It's like, here's the thing. It's the same thing that goes down with the gay conversation, same thing that goes down with the trans conversation, the same thing that goes down with everything else. Whatever you've decided works for you, that is fine, and you should not be ashamed of what works for you. Where you will have a problem is when you come to me and say how I am supposed to live my life. Now we got a problem. But I should give you the grace and the space. So if you want to tell your mama happy Father's Day, then fine, that's what y'all doing. But don't come over here and be mad at me when I look at you like,
what?
the hell you just say?
Now maybe your father is a piece of crap, but
That's normal in your world.
Yeah, that's you. Nah, I would never disrespect my father by saying to my mother, "Happy Father's Day." No, I have a daddy.
But that's my point, Tracy. That's my point right there, right? Like, if someone says Happy Father's Day to their mother, personally, I'm like, wait a minute, I work really hard to be a father, and
There's
the
some good
sacrifices
dads
that I
out
make.
there.
But hear me out. I work really hard for this. This defines me, right? Being a father is a really big deal to me. But notice I keep saying I and to me. So while it irritates me to hear you say that, you did not say that my child needs to tell their mother Happy Father's Day. You are doing that. So that's your business. I don't care. Where we have a problem is when you cross the line and you try to make society shift to accept your verbiage or your structure. That's where we have a problem. And that's why you have a lot of friction between the old way and the quote unquote new way when you're talking about trans, gay, or anything else, because the trans, gay, whatever crowd, they've been told to be quiet for so long. So all they're doing is speaking up, and they're being punished for speaking up. But then sometimes they overcorrect and they push too hard, and they come and say that now I have to use their verbiage. No, you can't make me do that. But what I do owe you, though, is the space to be you. And the old school doesn't always want to give people the space to be themselves. Old school still comes in and says, no, not only am I not going to use your verbiage, but you don't need to be using your verbiage. And now you got both sides. Nobody wants to listen to the other side.
I probably do lean more towards the older school just because that's just how I was raised. I mean, that's just.
But that doesn't make it right. It's like and I agree with you, but it's like
right. But I'm just saying.
But that's where the friction comes in, because we'll say that we pick and choose when we say that. We'll say that like the way I was raised, man and woman is how a nuclear family is structured. That's the way I was raised. Okay, but you were also raised that there was only one TV in the house and it weighed 380 pounds and it sat in the living room. You're okay with now having a bunch of flat screens. I'm being silly or
I get what you're saying. I'm not saying everything.
It's like we pick and choose which pieces.
But I just know it annoys me, and I can't lie and say it doesn't.
And you can't help that, and you have every right to be annoyed. I think that's the thing that is missing in our whole discussion with all these different things, is each side is not giving the other side the freedom to be who they are. They're demanding the other side come along with them, and that's what's wrong.
It still boils down to this, and it's a little political, and I hate to do this on a Saturday show, but it's the last Saturday show for the year, so whatever. It still boils down to this. What are you doing in your household that not only is right for you, but make you happy? And if that's what it is, then you need to do what you do in your household that makes you happy. I'm cool with that. I don't have to understand it. Why? Because I was raised that made me happy in the household that I'm in. I'm in this household. We have a different whatever. And we're happy with it, and we're cool with it, and everything else. Here's the problem that we're going to always have fights over. And it's so, at this point in 2023, it's so fucking stupid. I don't have to do what you are doing in your household. Why? Because my household is already happy. But Marlon, what you're going to do is going to make me more happy. What are you talking about?
Here's where the friction actually lies. The friction isn't about what you do in your household and what I do in my household and the next person does in their household. The friction is really about the public square and who has ownership of the public square.
Yep.
So in your household, not you guys, but like in that person's household, it is perfectly normal because all I see is this man walks in the house and that man walks in the house. I don't know what happens inside that house. I don't care how they make love or how they eat dinner or how they do any of those things because it's in their house. Like you were just saying, it's your household. The problem is too many people are fighting over who owns the public square. And then it's not enough to own the public square. You want to control what makes it to the public square. Well, once you decide that in order to protect the public square, you have to protect what makes it to the public square, you are now going to have to go in that person's house. You're basically just expanding your reach to try to protect, quote unquote, the public square. You don't want to see two men kissing in the park. You don't want to see someone who is visibly post-transition or in transition transgender person. You don't want to see these things in the public square because you've decided as a society this is what is normative. Okay, and so in order to protect that, you now have to decide this can't come out of your house. Well, in order for me to say that this can't come out of your house, I have to now identify which houses I'm talking about. So now I got to get in your house. And when we talk about the transgender or we talk about it in the queer community, it's almost novel because that's what's happening today. But you just pick that up and you shift it. And it's not a one-to-one thing, but it's the same thing as far as the tenor and the impact. You shifted away from the sexual identity. You shifted away from the gender identity. And now we go to color and ethnicity. It's this It's the same argument, just zeroing in on a new group, right? We were at a point you couldn't be black and come outside. If you were black, if you were outside, you better be working. If you're not working, you need to take your ass back in the house, right? We, the people who are so held on to this is how I grew up and this is how it was, they oftentimes can't see that area where it's bleeding into other things. And what happens when that occurs is it's the vulnerable group or the new group or the small group, they hear it way louder than the quote unquote normative group. To the normative group, it's a one-off, it's an exception, it's something like that. Like when we talk about black people being killed by police, to the normative group, that's one-off. We hear about this once, twice, 3 times a year. Why are you guys getting bent out of shape? People die all the time. Police make mistakes, blah, 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 blah. But to that group, no, I hear this all the time. Right?
Yeah, it was my people. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I don't know how to fix it because I don't know that it can be fixed. Because logically, I think most people, if they slow down, they can work their way through these things. Most people, if you get somebody who is more in tune with what's happening and they're open to talking to other communities and other cultures, they'll find a way to work through it logically. But people are not operating logically, especially right now. So everything is emotional, and it's scary. And I'm just nitpicking here, Tracy, because I'm extrapolating a little bit from what you said a moment ago. You were saying like I'm just going to assume the stork brought you, right? I'm using this as a hyperbolic extreme example. I'm going to assume that the stork brought you, which is really just a way of saying I know how children get here.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I know all of that, but that's uncomfortable for me because I don't want to have that conversation. So I'm going to create this shroud of reality that I can function in over here, knowing that I'm purposely putting up a wall to protect my sensibilities. And we do that on different subjects and different topics all day, every day. But on the other side of that shroud is a real person who you just shut down.
Well, no, I think in that sense, I don't need, and especially with this story, I don't need to know they went cowboy, cowgirl. I don't need
I'm
to
with
know
you,
all that.
100%.
That's why I was like, that's why I'm assuming, that's why I'm saying in my head, oh, the stork brought the baby. Of course, I know how babies are made. I've been knowing that since I was 8 years old. But I don't need to hear about it. I don't need to hear we went to dinner and then we went back to the bedroom. I don't need to know all that. There's some things
I
that
know.
I feel like I don't need to know.
That's the point I'm making right there. One, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is in that agreement, if you change the subject matter, it's still the same sentiment. I don't need to know what's happening with you black people out there in the police. Yeah, I don't need to hear that. Why don't you just we're all people, we're all human, right? It's the same thing. We just shift where we're talking, and it's hard to dial in and dial out based on who's involved in the discussion.
I disagree with that kind of. And here's what I'll say. Because black people getting killed by the police is a public thing. It's done publicly. What you do in your bedroom, that's between you and whomever else you choose to share that moment with. That ain't
And
got
we
nothing
have
to do.
laws that dictate what you can do in that bedroom. We have laws. So I'm saying I agree
Just
with
a few
you. Like,
minutes
I
ago,
really do
you were
agree with you.
telling people that a perfectly innocuous new tradition that they should not do that, even if they felt a personal connection to it. It's and I'm sorry, just that didn't feel nice.
What did I say? I'm sorry.
No, what I said.
Yeah, sorry, specifically speaking to Tracy, just it's I don't understand that when it has no bearing on your life. So
And
why does it matter to you that a family is saying Happy Father's Day because this person has filled in that role?
But see, and then this again, I'll answer it this way. To me,
Mhm.
a man can never fill a woman's role, ever, never, ever. They're never gonna do it. And you know, to some people, this is gonna sound like Tracy's being conservative again, but I guess that's who essentially I am.
It's okay.
There's no way that a mother can fill a father's role, ever. There's no way to do it. Now, I don't believe in taking away people's speech. So, yes, it's going to irritate me that you're calling your mother your father because you're disregarding, to me, you're disregarding a father's role. A father has a specific role, just like a mother has a specific role. And that's why I said, you know, I would have a problem with parents, somebody wishing their dad Happy Mother's Day. No, it doesn't have a bearing on me, but I'm not going to lie and say something doesn't annoy me. It annoys me. It annoys me when you put a role on someone. I don't care what she does. She's never going to be a father. A father has a specific role. A mother has a specific role. And those things are held by those two.
Well, here's the thing, though, and one, what you just expressed, yes, it is her opinion, but it is the quote unquote normative opinion, right? That is the right. And I personally share much of that opinion because I believe in gender roles, but I also understand that some people do not. Where we will oftentimes have a little bit of a rub. Well, first of all, I believe that we're always going to disagree in some measure or way, and our problem is we don't always give people the ability to disagree, and that's a problem. But where I kind of chortle, I guess you could say, is when you get people who will say that, like what Tracy just expressed, is much of a Judeo-Christian gender role structure society, right? This is the man, this is the woman. Men do these things, women do these things, and one is not greater than the other, but it's because of those differences that you get a complete, right? Which I personally correspond largely to. But what makes me giggle or laugh is when someone will say that I don't believe in gender roles, and then proceed to define things in a gender-based way, right? Like you can't say you don't do gender roles and then say that this person fills a father's role. You just contradicted yourself. Hold to what you believe. No, you didn't. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't think I've ever said there's no such thing as gender roles, because I definitely believe there are.
But such is the strength of the normative discussion that you get pushed back into it, right? So, and I'm not trying to speak for you, Anna. I'm speaking general here. So if you are like, hey, so Tracy laid out the quote unquote traditional gender role schematic. And another person would say, well, yes, that's good for you. But here, what you would call the father actually plays the mother's role. And what you would call the mother actually plays the father's role. It's like, that's how you would perceive our world, but our world is not subject to how you choose to perceive it, right? So we don't do the gender role thing. And that's cool, but why are you using husband and father? I mean, mother and father. Probably because it's the ease of discussion. I don't know. Or it's because this is the words that we have to choose from our word palette. I don't know. But it still muddles the whole conversation, which we could all avoid if we would just say, look, unless you are causing physical or direct harm to another person, that ain't my business.
Yeah, ultimately, it's
Now,
not
if
my
you are
business.
trying to impose your belief system onto, that's the key right there. If you're trying to impose your
And
belief system or your view of the world onto the next person and have them held accountable to it, that's where we have a problem.
yeah,
And
because
Now,
that's
you
you,
can
all that
put
I
your
was
world vision on
saying.
anybody
You
you
know,
want to.
her
yeah,
expressing her opinion, fine with that.
Right.
It was the stop it, telling other people what to do. I'm not fine with that.
I'm not going to tell people what to. I don't want to come across as that's what I'm doing, but I'm still going to be agitated by it. Period. I'm not going to stop being
That's
agitated by it. It's
mhm.
not when I think of marriage, when I think of general. That's the framework I think. I'm not going to. I've never apologized for my faith. I'm not going to start. I'm not going to do it. It's just something I'm not willing to do because I feel like if I don't stand for what I believe, then I'm doing a disservice. It irritates me when I see mothers, oh, wish me a happy Father's Day. And the father, he could be scum. I'm not saying he's not scum. I'm saying it annoys me. That's
Yeah.
literally
No,
what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
I think where we're missing here is that
It doesn't
it,
affect me,
it,
no,
it,
because
it
my
has
father
every
was
right
similar.
to annoy you.
Yeah,
It
I'm
has every
annoyed.
right to annoy you because of your belief system. Um, and where Anna just pointed out, it wasn't that
Exactly.
got her. What got her was when you said stop it, which is now saying you, and I'm gonna use it as a Facebook framework. You put up a post saying, well, I raised my kids by myself. He wasn't here. I took care of them. I did that. Wish me a happy Father's Day. And then it's like, you're saying, stop it. No, really, your response would be no response. Scroll by and move on.
That should be
Because
my
I'm
response.
not going to wish you a happy
Yeah,
Father's
I'm
Day
not going to
because
wish you a happy
no.
Father's Day and you're the mother. Just not going to happen.
Right?
I think when I'm
But
saying stop it, I'm just like, try to, if the father is still a lot around, try to build. Now, if he just says, if he's like this father in this story, um, and just doesn't want to be, that's one thing. But when I say stop it, I'm talking about stop it in the sense of, because I think a lot of single mothers do this, they just edge out the father a lot of times. There's a lot of fathers I know that want to see their children, but the mother won't let them see the child because they don't pay child support, which doesn't have anything to do
or
with
they don't
child
like
raising,
them.
or they don't like them, or there's some beef. That's literally that's probably what I should have said and didn't, but that's what I'm talking about. Stop it. Stop doing that. Let that child build a relationship with their father. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think
I,
there's any disagreement there,
yeah, I
Tracy.
think because my father's always has been around.
I
I
can't get
don't want
that.
to hear it. I don't, and there's nothing. I know people are gonna say, "Well, she's just a right winger." In this case, I probably am. In
But
this
it's,
case, okay, you don't agree with me. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, you're socially conservative, and that's fine. Um, but and also the term socially conservative doesn't even fully define you, which is not fine, right?
Right.
So, like I had a interesting going back and forth the other day on Facebook where somebody was like calling this other guy a conservative, a black guy. He's calling him a black conservative, and I just had to chime in because I'm like, no, it sounds like some of the things that he's saying is a black conservative. But if you listen to more of the things that he has said over time, you'll find that he holds very liberal, quote unquote, liberal views here and there. And in some places, he holds revolutionary ideas here and there. For me, if you listen to me long enough, you will find that the vast majority of my positions sound progressive or liberal. I don't. There's very little of me that's conservative because I don't like the idea of what are we conserving, right? We need to be moving forward. But my politics are black, right? My politics are not Democratic and not Republican. The Republicans are just so far out there that it sounds like I'm a Democrat, but my politics are black. So sometimes I'm going to have conservative viewpoints, like gender roles. I believe in gender roles, right? But I also believe that that doesn't necessarily mean it works for you. And I will continue to fight for your right for that not to work for you and you to live your life, right? Um, that's part of where we get lost is we keep trying to take our book of definitions and put them on somebody else, and people aren't like that. Oh, hi, Marlon.
Hey, we are back.
Oh, we always
I
Tracy, you been here?
I know,
The whole time. But hey, either you go get this information today or you go get this information tomorrow. But that's why I let it go. That's why I didn't say anything. That's why I wasn't going to say anything because it's good. Thanks for the content. And I don't need a whole bunch of people on here agreeing with everybody's beliefs and thoughts and all this other stuff because this is not a vacuum chamber for I'm just going to bash everybody but us. Not to say we was bashing each other. I'm just saying we hold conversations that we all don't agree on. If more people could do stuff like this, kind of think some things will change. But no, that's work. Sorry.
We don't do it because we don't have to.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
much.
think, I mean, I always call myself a walking contradiction.
So
I'm
never mind.
religiously conservative, but in terms of politics, y'all know I'm a leftist all the way through. I'm through and through leftist.
Let's go ahead and get to the last part, which is really funny, but considering that that's how this all started anyway. So let's go ahead and get to the last video real quick, and this is the final update.
Hey everyone, I ended up deleting Reddit for a while, but now that I'm feeling settled again, I figured that I owed it all to give you one final update. First off, I won the court case. It's been a long and draining road, and I won't go into a ton of detail, but it was all thanks to Reddit. Someone connected me to a great lawyer, and everything worked out exactly the way it needed to. I owe it all to you guys. Thank you so much. And second, I gave birth to my sweet baby girl just a few short weeks ago. She's perfect, and she's everything I needed. Babies heal the soul more than you could ever imagine. I couldn't have done it all without my sister cheering me on through everything. Then, in the comments of this post, someone asks OP, "Can you spill the tea on how your ex-mother-in-law reacted when you won your case?" OP replies, "Her reaction was pathetic, to say the least. She sobbed uncontrollably and called me every insult that she could possibly think of as I left. It gave me secondhand embarrassment, to say the least. The judge wasn't buying any of her BS from the second that our case started. Very satisfying, to say the least." And OP further clarifies that she has full custody, that the husband has no rights to the daughter whatsoever.
And it would serve him right if he had a little girl with the new girlfriend. He just what he gets. Yeah, ha.
That would actually be poetic. So that was the.
Are we?
Well, some people.
I would say that would be poetic if that snaps him out of it and moves him away from his mom, which it very well could do. Otherwise,
maybe he
poor
should be allowed
baby
to
being born to this family that won't accept her just because of her gender.
But she tried to sue. That's what confused me about this story. The mother-in-law tried to sue for custody or have her son, her little man.
That was to hurt her.
Yeah, that was a power play just to hurt.
Yeah, but what if they had won? People don't be asking. Stop putting children in the middle of y'all drama. Leave the children out of it.
Here's the funny thing about it, though. I'm gonna put another level to this, cause that's what I do. Is I hear what you're saying, Thea, is that nobody needs to be born into this little
terrible family.
But I also wonder with this mom, if he does have another girl, I wonder if the mom started looking at the son differently.
Yes.
Doubt it. That's her baby boy. He's a son.
I don't know.
I think
And they've already decided that science and genealogy don't matter. They're looking
yeah,
at,
Yeah.
because
you
if you go
we
cowgirl,
have
you're most
boys,
likely to
and
have
that's
a girl.
it.
Yeah. So
Facts
I
and
sure,
science don't matter. They know
I,
the science. They don't care.
they know
yep,
the
It's
somehow
signs.
inconvenient.
They
nah,
know the signs to
these are
counter.
MAGA folk to the upteenth most. That doesn't matter. If you go cowgirl, you're gonna have a boy. What?
Because, but that's just it, right? And I love that you brought up the MAGA thing because, I can't stand those people. I have zero use for them personally. But I also think you should also understand people and not minimize their intelligence. They just are choosing not to utilize certain aspects of their intelligence, but that doesn't mean they don't have it, right?
Yeah.
So like these people, like this one here, they know that it's not just a matter of I want a boy, therefore I shall have a boy. But that's inconvenient to the outcome that they want. So
Yep.
they will suspend everything else to focus on the outcome that they want. And that's the type of people that we're dealing with here. So that's why I was saying with if the son has a daughter, I don't know which way it would break because it could end up being a really good thing. Similar to like when you have racist family members and you raise your children, you better not be with a white boy, you better not be with a black girl, and you're dead set against it, right? And then that's usually what pushes them to the other, the other side. But anyway,
Right.
but they reject that black mother or father, but that baby sometimes is what snaps some of that hold. And that personally upsets me because you shouldn't have to be physically and directly touched by something to be able to grow. But unfortunately, that's how most people
Yeah,
seem
that's
to
what it
be.
takes sometimes.
Right? So there could be a good thing where that happens, but think about this though. It's a good thing that he has a daughter and then he realizes that this is silly. This is all silly. This is my baby. I love my baby and I'm going to raise my baby. And then that makes him look at his mama different. And he's like, Mom, I love you, but step back because I'm going to raise my child and you're not going to make her feel bad about being who and what she is. Like that very well could happen. But now that child is still growing up in this family, so she's gonna pick up some trauma here. So it's like there's
Yes,
no truly good outcome here.
There's no way that I would wish another child would come into that horrible family. He's a look. Yeah, I know
But the family could be great otherwise.
that mother is off the charts. She has put her son in a position that he never should have held at all. I would. It's a good thing that he won't be involved in his daughter's life. I usually don't say that because I'm like, fathers, you need to be involved in life. Nah, this daughter don't need to know nothing about him. Girl, find you another man. But he ain't it. He ain't it.
I know it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, and in a way I am because that's how life is to me. He's not what that baby needs right now, but
Sure don't.
I can't quite get to he's not what that child needs because he that child might be what he needs. That's one.
That's true. That's a good point.
And he may be exactly what this child needs, just not in his current mind state. And like with those who raise children, I don't know if everybody can relate to it, we're all different. But you get better at it. Like if you truly are concerned about being whatever it is, a parent, auntie, uncle, grandparent, co-worker, if you are intentionally committed to getting better at it, you will get better at it. So like he might not be optimal for what he needs to be, but he's let's say he's 22 years old and all this is happening, or 19 and this is happening, 25 and this is happening. He's not what he's going to
No,
be
I
yet.
think they said he was 31 and she was 28 or something like that.
Well, still, anyway, but it's a little shakier now. But it's still that thing that people, I don't believe people change, but I do believe people evolve. And basically, the story is not told on his life just because he's not where he needs to be right now. He's under his mother's control. But one day he may not be.
Well, if that's the case, I'm not speaking for the mother / father. I need to see that first before I even remotely try to put you in my child's life.
Now, I think
Fair
she
enough.
should.
Because
Yeah,
you got to remember. I'll let you speak, Tracy. Hold on.
sorry. Go ahead.
You got to remember one thing, Vias, because you the one that said it, but I'm not getting on you. I'm going to always remember how the story was left off. So I'm always going to sleep with one eye open, and I'm always going to be watching you and watching your action. And no, it's not going to be an easy thing. You're going to resent me by saying a whole bunch of, you're not giving me a chance, and but you got to remember you did a journey that I didn't see. So the only thing I'm going off of is what the last story was about. And the last story was trash. Purely trash. So you could literally have changed your life for the better. Or you could be full of shit.
Yeah, that's true.
And I got to see which one is the correct answer. I mean, you may come back and you have changed your mind, and you have changed your heart, you have changed your mind, you have changed your values, you have changed your views, you want to be in the life, and you may be willing and able to be in this child's life. Or did you just learn how to play the game better?
So
And
a couple
that
of
is
things.
what I'm going to always look at you until I come to a final conclusion of. And it's going to take a while.
So a couple of things in what you just said, and I agree with you, but now we're just because I don't even know if I say intentionally, but I drifted away from the story itself because the story itself I think is pretty cut and dry. I'm talking about just how people are and the complexity of what it is when people aren't quite
I
where
was
they
doing people
need to be.
in general.
But going with what you were just saying on that though, what you said makes perfect sense and is how I think we all function. And I think it's still wrong. And I don't know a better way for it to be. I don't, right? But I still say that it's still wrong. And here's the reason why. No person that I've ever met is capable of judging or processing the complexity of another person. Like we can't figure ourselves out. So if we're going to say, give the room for the father to re-engage because he was not where he needed to be during the pregnancy. And he was not where he needed to be even up to where the baby was born, and we had to go to court and go through all these things, and now I have, full parental rights and you don't. It's now up to me as the custodial parent to decide if and when you can re-engage, right? Because the protection of this child, the upbringing of this child is on me. But I'm an imperfect person too. So now am I truly saying, are you the type of father that needs to be in my child's life? Are you that caliber of person as a father? Or am I still looking at you as, are you the type of person, because I also have personal issues with you. So we're too muddled as people, right? And like I said, I don't know a way to do this any differently, but I'm saying it's still wrong because I'm still holding you to a test that only, as you would say, Marlon, I know the answers to. And it'll shift and it'll move, and like, I don't like you because you left me and I felt this way and that way, and we had to go to court, and then we have to go through all this crap, and then look at what you've made happen and all of that. But that's secondary to the fact is, does he love this child? Is he ready to raise this child from the lane that he's now, you know, in?
It's a different layer, and I'm going back to the story. It's a different layer when we talk about this story, only for the fact that you called it a fetus.
Okay, so there was in the time we was angry. It was stupid. It was tacky. It was horrible. But you're gonna, I mean,
And yeah, because
so then your problem is with me as with him as a person,
no,
not him as a father.
no, it isn't. See, this is when I go, what I've said before on this show, this is when I go into protection mode. What you did to me, you could do to me. I'm a grown ass person. It is what it is. What my issue with you may not have the same issue with my child. However, I need to see that because now I'm in protective mode and I need to protect something that's vulnerable who don't know what you have done.
No, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I don't know another way to do this. But what I am saying though is everything that he did, he literally did to you. He didn't do that to the baby because the baby wasn't here yet. So everything he did to you. So every hard feeling you have, every bit of protection that you feel is warranted, all of it was because of what was done to you. You didn't do anything to the child. So, but I am the one that's going to have to look at this baby when she's crying. And I'm the one that's going to have to explain things that shouldn't have to be explained. So I'm going to be very protective. Like, I can't say I will play it any different than what you're saying. I'm just saying that it's still inherently broken.
And I would agree with that, except for one thing. If you treated me horribly, if we was just to take this, you treated me horribly. The whole case and everything was the way it is. You treated me horribly. I would agree with you. But you treated me horribly because of the child.
That didn't exist yet. Like you were still in the process of
but
pregnancy.
in his mind, it did. You treated me horribly because it was a girl.
You're not in his mind.
You was cool with me.
If it had been a boy.
No, not that. You was cool with because that's not even true either. You was cool with me when you found out it was a girl. You was disappointed, but hey, it's a girl. It's ours. We're ready to go. Boo. You had an hour-long conversation with your mother, and all hell broke loose. So you didn't treat me badly because of me. You treated me badly because of our daughter.
No, disagree.
Yeah,
you treated me badly because of your mother and your family's dumbass belief system.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Like that, you know.
But I have to see, has the influence subsided? Are you?
No, I feel you. I would do it the same way. I would do the exact same way. I'm just saying that I would still be wrong because I'm incapable of being really judging effectively.
Yeah, I don't.
But it's the way it's going to roll. It's how it's going to roll, though.
Yeah, yeah. I may be wrong and I may be biased and everything else, and I can't help it. I mean, sorry, I really can't. It's the logical thing about that. I know I really can't. I really can't. No, I can't because I have the memory. I have the memory of all of it. I have the memory of you. Let's go talk to my mom, and then you just left me a note. You came and packed up. I have the memory of your mom with some damn Chinese bullshit that you talking about. I have the memory of you literally saying to me, I would not have found out about your thing if my girlfriend didn't discover it. I'm going to have the memory that I was woman enough to go to your job and go, what the fuck is going on? And all thing you doing is telling me crap that's coming out your mama's mouth. I have the memory of you saying, I don't want anything to do with this child whatsoever. You on your own.
I agree with you on all
I
those
have
things.
the memory of, but I'm going to take you to court. Personal attack, because you didn't even want the child beforehand.
In the
I
first
still have
place.
the memory of you that said your daughter, your fetus.
I agree with you.
I can't help that I have these memories of events.
That is true.
So
What I was saying when you said I can't help it, it's kind of like when you were talking about him lashing out and saying you and your fetus, right? I'm being about as nitpicky as that. When I'm saying that, yes, you can. I am saying that from the standpoint of everything you just said. Only you can decide how much weight to put on each of those. How am I going to process each of these things? How much, you control that. You can't control any of those memories. You can't control any of the stuff that happened. You can control how you're going to process and move.
I don't think Anna's coming back. Say sorry, guys. Anna lost her internet.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Well, we're about to shut down. We'll be back tomorrow. In a way.
where Tracy's
But what I was talking
getting
about is the
ready
whole-
to say other things that's gonna make her never come back on this show again.
Who did you say? What did you say to make you never?
No, I'm making a joke. I'm gonna stop with my sense of humor because y'all never get nothing. It's a joke.
I missed it, so I was asking.
Everybody must have missed it, so I'm gonna try not to make no more jokes.
Why? Just because I have the emotional. Well, I'm pretty good with emotional intelligence. I don't do humor very well.
What?
What, really? If I guarantee, bro, if you play back almost any of our videos for the last 3 years, as inflexible as you may think I am, I come across much more moderated and much more understanding of different people's views than you do. Play them back and listen to them.
That is for your.
That's emotional intelligence.
I'm gonna turn this dang music off. Hell no. You go for some more logical thinking. I am more emotional thinking than you.
I didn't say that. I said emotional intelligence. It's two different things.
I don't know about that. I mean,
You're more emotionally driven. You're more emotionally driven. This is true. And so you understand things that I don't.
With a girl that you like, have no problem with her whatsoever. Y'all both click it, and you would leave her because she changed her hair color. Now what I'm about to say. No, what I'm about to say is probably not going to sound very right, but please try to take it as a spirit of where I'm coming from. You should know very well that the nuance that I expressed in that discussion was not that simple. And you just intentionally boiled it down to that. That was just not accurate, right? What did I really say as I was saying that about the hair color? I was saying that when we got together, there's a type of person that I came to be in a relationship with. So there's certain dynamics that you have expectations of. This is my preference. And then you decided that, hey, I want to change my hair color. And I said, hey, that's your hair. You do whatever it is that you want to do. I may not like it though. And then you change your hair color. And I find that I really do not like it. You're a girlfriend. I can break up with you because you farted and it smelled bad. Okay. So I'm just saying that was where we broke. It wasn't the hair color itself. It is about the entirety of my preference and how compatible we are. Because if I'm going to be frustrated with your hair color changing, what else am I going to be frustrated with?
How am I going to actually treat you now that your hair is a different color that I don't like? How am I? You see what I'm saying? I'm saying that you need to be much more evolved in how you deal with the next person so that you don't end up pretending to put up with things that you really aren't comfortable with. And now you're treating her differently. And when she calls you on it, you don't want to admit it. You'll say things like, no, I'm fine. No, I ain't got no problem. When in fact you do. So no, it wasn't as simple as that.
Well, counter argument, since we're going this way.
Yeah, dude, no, they're gonna turn into another 3-hour show if y'all don't stop this.
You're right. No counter argument. Nope. Bringing the music back on. We will have this conversation.
Hey,
Welcome
mine was
back, Anna.
bad. Yeah, mine was bad enough.
Welcome back, Anna. We're
So-
gonna have this conversation tomorrow. I can guarantee you.
No, we not. That's the day before work. You're gonna keep it short and sweet tomorrow.
Because that means Thea's got the last word. No. No. It's in me.
Marlon, you are 100% right in your perspective of how you saw things.
That ain't gonna help. I'm sorry that you took it that way. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. No. Tracy, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find my 2 videos. I did a live and I did a tape video today. Tracy Media LLC.com. That's my website. Had to think about it.
Anna? 2 videos.
BoreliaEtc.com.
Anna dropped
Sorry?
2 videos today. 2 videos today. 2 videos. One of them songs that we're gonna hear tomorrow is her humming. Thea's?
I got nothing.
You do. You have projects coming up next year. You're gonna get on a lot more platforms to get your word out to people. Why am I doing your job, dude?
He's doing your
basically,
job.
in short, because I didn't want to, do all that and take up more of you guys' time. I do that.
Oh, thank
I don't
you,
know.
Parker.
I'm gonna stop saying I'm gonna stop doing it because obviously my dumb ass don't know how not to.
Oh yeah, thank you, Parker. And Tracy's New Year's Eve show.
Yep, we're having watch night at 6:00 again, so I'm doing another New Year's Eve show.
Yep, so y'all tune into that. Sorry, Diz, go ahead.
No, so coming down the line, I will be having a membership platform. So that is purely membership driven, and it'll have exclusive content in there where you'll see parts of what we're going to be doing in the classrooms as far as different lesson plans that we're running through. So ongoing projects there, broken up so you don't have to sit through like an hour, 2 hours at a time and stuff like that. But it'll be a video series in there. People talking to each other. They're really going into what I am building with our United Core as an overall organization. All of those things will be happening through the membership side. And then there will also be a new YouTube channel coming where we just kind of talk about the organization itself and what we're after. So new community development company is basically what it is, but it's multifaceted, running on a lot of different levels. But I invite you to come along.
All right, everybody. Tomorrow, the final show, the final Radical Truth to Power for 2023. So not only are we going to go ahead and discuss the runaway winner of the Worst Person of the Year, we also will have the runner-up. We will also have the surprise category that nobody knows anything about. We will also have a special guest on the show tomorrow. It's just gonna pop in and out real quick.
It's Dash. That's who it is. It's Dash.
Nope. And we will also have a surprise change experiment, to be honest with you. Surprise experiment to the show that I will announce tomorrow that nobody knows anything about too. Which I really wish I didn't say that because Tracy will go, "You're gonna bring Santa on." No, I'm gonna tell you tomorrow that there is going to be a slight change to the formatting of the show. And it will be an
It's been great working with you guys. Be inspiring me. Just let you guys know.
Javier is going to take on a more of a robust
I
role.
didn't fire you, Javier fired you, but no, it's just an experiment. We're going to see how it works out, but we'll get all that information tomorrow. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell because all of this content will be released over the next 2 weeks before we return. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah, you bet not change your hair color, hairstyle, buy a wig, buy a weave. Don't do none of that. I said that is what I said.